And we're on. And we're in two different places. You say hello first, Joe.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's like those big-time TV stations when they do a split screen.
Did you ever think that we'd live to see the day that we could actually do this from the comfort? Well, you're from the comfort of your own home. And we have Mrs. Rayo on.
Hi.
Hi. How are you, Renata?
Oh, I'm just fine and dandy.
Good, good, good. Nice to see you. You're right there on the screen, and I'm in a Brady Bunch box right in the corner.
So now let's see if we can get Mr. Green or Mr. Fitzgerald to join in, and then we'll have a real Brady Bunch show tonight.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what they're up to. In the meantime, you went to Christmas tree lighting tonight?
We went to the, we were there for about, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yes, it was pretty darn cold, 26 degrees.
I mean, the best part of it was being able to go to the bonfire and turn around and just stand next to the bonfire and warm up, or because I became a popsicle after a while. But it was interesting. We had the Putnam Valley, and I said Putnam Valley should get with it with all the other townships, because all the other townships had their tree lightings, 1, 2, 3 weeks ago?
Uh-huh.
We're probably the last town to actually have a tree lighting, believe it or not, in early December.
Well, hang on one second, Joe. I just want to make sure everybody, you guys are hopefully at home that are watching tonight, that you're hearing everything okay, because every once in a while we do wind up with some audio issues, and I just want to make sure that you guys are hearing us all right. And it seems like everything is working okay, so let me come back to the full screen. So, what are your thoughts? Did you get to look at any weather today?
Yeah, in fact, it looks like more than any other time during this week, Joe. I guess you would probably agree with me that this system is going to be a real mess for folks who live down in, let's say, the Carolinas and southern Virginia, but it is looking like it's going to bypass us completely. It doesn't even look like we're going to see very much in the way of significant cloud cover from this system over the span of the weekend on into the early part of next week.
I agree. You know what? I'm going to bring up the we got the new NAM. I'll be curious to see what kind of snow, what kind of amounts it's showing for the Carolinas. So let me bring up the new surface. Hang on just 1 second here.
Interestingly, one of Renata's friends from back in the pre-marriage days, she grew up with in Queens, lives now in North Carolina. Today is her birthday, and so we just sent her via messenger a birthday greeting, and he said, we're sending you a whole bunch of snow as a gift this weekend.
Well, areas in western North Carolina are going to do quite well with this. I was just looking at the new NAM, which starting from later, this morning it did this thing where it kind of suppressed the snow a little bit, and then it went back the other way on the 18Z run, Joe. And looking at the new run right now, you've got a pretty robust area of snow that breaks out throughout western North Carolina, even up into northeastern North Carolina, eventually into southern Virginia. It gets pretty crazy with some heavier snow and a significant area of ice from northeast Georgia on up in through the Carolinas, just along or north and west of I-95. The low's going to intensify a little bit as it moves northeast, so I think it's getting a little bit of extra added cold air that's draining down. At least that's what it looks like.
Right. In fact, as you were speaking, I just brought up on my own computer Tropical Tidbits. Thank you very much, Levi Cohen. And I'm seeing exactly what you described, where it looks like, I'd say about 2/3 of North Carolina. It's only the eastern part, the coastal plain, that seems to be getting rain, but from central and especially western North Carolina, there's a lot of snow, there's a lot of ice, and there's going to be a lot of misery for a lot of folks who live in North Carolina. Just looking here, it looks like Saturday, well, most of Saturday is not going to be all that bad, but beginning Saturday late afternoon, the snow starts creeping into the mountains of North Carolina, the western mountains, and then by, Saturday night, 7Z Sunday, that's about like after midnight tomorrow night into Sunday, here we go with the snows and the ice and all kinds of problems for folks who live, again, in western and central North Carolina.
Right, and in the meantime, Joe, I'm going to bring up the upper air. We've got, this northwest flow that is out of Canada with this upper low that's sitting somewhere in the Canadian Maritimes. It is just not moving, and the northwest flow stays with us right into the first part of next week. So there's just no way for this to come up at all. There's no room. The flow is all wrong. If you've got northwest winds from northern Virginia all the way up into New England, how is a storm going to move from south to north in that? It just can't.
You're absolutely right. I'm just looking here at the NAM, as you are, looking at the 500 millibar geopotential height and anomaly map, and seeing what looks to be like an open wave. Well, actually, it's not really an open wave because it closes off by, and this is actually, I'm looking at, hold on for a second here, right?
Sure.
I started at minus 72. So now I'm moving forward here in time to Sunday. And yeah, it's that flow is like a 310 or 320 over the northeast. So there's no way that system in the south is going to be able to penetrate and come northward toward us. So we're pretty well protected, I think, for a number of days to come.
Yeah, I was thinking that probably won't see any rain here until maybe Friday. There was a chance that maybe something could run out ahead, maybe perhaps on Thursday, but I was more for later Friday night, and early Saturday. So a week from today, we'll be sitting here talking about it.
Well, the funny thing is also is that to give you just some idea of how it has been in our neck of the woods since before the beginning of fall. We have just put together 5 consecutive dry days at Central Park, 5 days where we have not had a drop of rain or a flake of snow or a pellet of ice. And the last time we were able to do something like that was back at the beginning of September, the 1st through the 5th of September, the last time we were able to string together 5 consecutive dry days. And that just goes to show you just how incredibly active the weather has been ever since in terms of precipitation here in the Northeast and in the tri-state area.
Yeah, and it has been, particularly since mid-October. We've been getting 2 and sometimes 3 weather events in a given week. So this stretch that we have now started is well deserved. Even though it is going to be really cold tomorrow and Sunday, perhaps to a slightly lesser degree, but still colder than average. And it looks like it'll be colder than average until maybe late next week when the next storm system comes up, because that cold high, you're still going to have that flow coming out of Canada for a little while, at least into Wednesday of this week. You're going to have our air coming down from southeastern Canada, so that's going to keep things a little bit colder than average.
Yeah, and next weekend, as I think I mentioned with you when I was next to you back at the weather office yesterday, not necessarily this weekend. This weekend looks great if you're shopping or if you're going to a holiday party, either Saturday or Sunday. But next weekend, especially later Saturday and Saturday night, from at least this vantage point, more than a week in advance, looks rather problematic, because it looks like all of the dry weather that we're going to see over the next week or so, the dike is finally going to bust, and it may provide us with a very significant rain, not snowfall here, come Saturday into perhaps next Sunday as well.
Right. The longer-term pattern, Joe, to me it was kind of interesting. It looks pretty busy from a storm perspective. We're going to be, even though I don't think we're going to get very warm, it's not going to be a blowtorch pattern at all, but I think we're going to see temperatures trend back closer to normal, which really suggests that we have no real cold air around. But maybe when we get toward, say, the 20th or the 21st of December, there's some evidence. Now whether it comes together or not, I don't know. But it appears like it may want to turn colder toward the last week to 10 days of the month of December, maybe in time for Christmas.
Well, I'm not too sure. I haven't looked that far ahead. I did, since it is Friday, the Climate Prediction Center did come out with their 3 to 4 week experimental prog for temperature and precipitation probability. And for our neck of the woods, in this part of the country, they have, again, above normal temperatures going right on into early January now. That's how far out they look. And near normal precipitation, they do have an area of heavier than normal or above normal precipitation just to our south through the mid-Atlantic and down into the southeastern part of the country, which kind of implies, I guess, that they're suggesting that there may be some, well, what we're going to see this weekend, some waves of moisture, low pressure perhaps, moving across the southeast and mid-Atlantic, not quite maybe making it up to our part of the country, and at the same time seeing above normal temperatures. So if you were to take that as face value as to what the climate prediction people are saying down in Maryland, there may not be much chance of seeing snow or significant snows right on through the middle and latter part of the month into the early part of next month. So we'll see how that all pans out.
By the way, I don't know. I'm resting on your shoulder at the moment. I don't know if you can see on Facebook right now.
I haven't gone to the Facebook page, but
okay.
I'll take a look here and see what's going on.
I've decided to just kind of
delayed.
I've decided to just become like your gazoo, and just put you on.
I see exactly what you're talking about.
Or I could just be, you know what? I could just be a frame. Look at that. I could just be a frame on the picture on the wall. How's that?
That's right.
That actually is quite funny. I'm just kind of a picture.
It is.
It's a Friday night. We get a little jovial around here. You're looking forward to the weekend. So
in fact, I might point out, I don't know if you can see it, Joe. There's there's one particular thing framed back there that you were actually at the same. I think it was back in the 80s.
Which one?
That you and I don't think I can get a good view of it. I'd have to take the camera off.
Which picture?
It says Citation Office of the County Executive.
Oh, I have one of those.
We were at some kind of ceremony where we were voted among the meteorologists with the it was the best day, clean air day.
Clean air day. I think I remember that. Yeah, I do vaguely remember that. I also think I remember having really hurt my back very badly a few days going into that. And I had a terrible time sitting down because it was so painful. But that was quite a while ago.
That's just a tribute to how long the two of us have been in this business when we talk about awards of things that we've gotten back in the mid '80s. For goodness sake.
I know. More and more as I have these conversations with people with regards to the passage of time, and the realization that it's next year is my 40th year in television, so it's a little it's odd. It just all that time went by so quickly, and yet somebody once told me, a friend of mine told me once, and it was such a true statement. He said that the days are like an eternity, and the years just fly by.
Right.
And I think that there's a lot. That there's a lot behind that statement that's quite true. Maybe we had such a not that our careers are over yet, hopefully.
No,
maybe after this show, but who knows? But maybe it went fast because we enjoyed ourselves so much. I think that's a lot of it. When you enjoy what you do, it's not. It doesn't feel like you're actually you're working.
Well, I haven't said this to anyone either in print or even on the air or whatever like that, but I'll say it right now that we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary for me when I made the switch from that other news gathering organization over to FiOS 1 News, and you were there to greet me. And of course, you and I have known each other for many, many, many years, and I was kind of out of it. I mean, you when you're with a company for over 20 years, and all of a sudden
it's hard. I get it. I understand that. I totally get that.
But when I came to FiOS 1, and there you were, you picked me right up, and it's been a joy to be with you for the last couple of years, and I hope it'll be a joy for at least another couple, and maybe hopefully many more.
The same here. The day they told me you were coming, it was kind of funny because they asked me to go upstairs so anytime you work someplace, when they ask you to go upstairs, there's always, you start wondering. I really wasn't I wasn't worried about anything because I didn't do anything wrong. So, so I walked in and they sat me down and they said, so I was, at this point I was just kind of wondering what is, what's going on. And they said, we don't want you to get up, I don't know why they thought they were talking to, felt like a Hollywood person they were talking to. They didn't want to get me upset. Just, don't want to get you upset. Just want to let you know everything's fine. But that Joe Rayo's coming. And then at that moment, a huge smile just burst across my face, as I hadn't seen you in so many years.
Right.
And just knowing that you were going to be here side by side, I was beyond thrilled. It was, it took me back to a lot of good times that we.
In honor of our late 41st president, I will say it took me back, and I'm sure it took you back to a kinder and more gentler time. The news media was and television was so much.
It was a different place. It was
20,
different
30 years ago. So.
Right. And I'm sure, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, what we're seeing, what we're doing now, which seems so incredibly innovative, is going to be looked at as, just like how we are looking back. We were, at a very interesting time. Expansion was beginning. It was the beginning of the internet and all the rest of it. And, now we're, the folks that are going to follow us are going to they're going to have the same kind of experience.
I want to show you this was actually a cup that my daughter brought home and started drinking out of. When I saw this, I said to myself, I have to make this my cup. And can you see this?
This is fine. Yes, I can't see it. Who's
It's a dog. It's a
dog
sitting in a house that's on fire.
Oh, okay. Nice.
This pretty much sums up each day when I wake up what I think the day is going to turn out to be.
That the house is on fire?
Yeah, I always wake up and I always say, so what's going to happen today? My wife, who is no longer with us here, she went back upstairs. She refers.
I'm glad you made that part, but you said she's no longer with us. She went back upstairs. Okay,
no, she went back upstairs
because she still is among us. Yes, go on.
It's Mr. Negativity.
I know. See, the thing is, I never really perceived you as being very negative. When I'm here with you every day, I wouldn't say that you're negative. Not with me, anyway.
Yeah, I'm moody sometimes. Well, you've seen that before.
Well, I have, and I tend to be on the positive side of neutral when it comes to day to day, but sometimes I have my glum moments also.
And I hope you appreciate the fact that this year, or at least today and also on Monday, when I'm also off, I've arranged for nice, easy, quiet weather. And I'm also appreciative of the fact that when you give your next library talk, which you can do a commercial for right now, on Wednesday, and I am all alone over there at the Weather Center.
You should be fine.
Providing me with a nice, easy, quiet day.
Yeah, no, you should be fine. And that's next Wednesday. December 12th at 7 o'clock. I will be at the Babylon Library, which by just sheer coincidence is located in Babylon, New York. So over the weekend, I will be putting up some information on Facebook about it. So you know what, Joe? We're coming up on almost 10-2. So parting thoughts?
No, parting thoughts is go out and shop or shop your legs off this weekend, folks. Go out if you have a party or a holiday affair. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about the weather. The weather is going to be as quiet as it can possibly get for any month, not just December, but for any month over the next week or so. And come this time next week, maybe we'll be looking at some kind of a possible weather headache or atmosphere.
But it's going to be rain anyway for next week. So.
But until then, nice, quiet, enjoy. It's going to be very, very nice.
All right. And I'm on at the top of the hour at FiOS 1 News, Long Island, New Jersey, and Hudson Valley. So,
amazing.
Yes, I mean, it is incredible, but I can be three people in one. All right, so we will see you. I'll see you Tuesday. Maybe we can do this all over again on Monday.
I'll be waiting.
But you know what? Center the shot in such a way so that I can be in the picture frame. So it'll be something straight out of Bewitched.
Do you want to be Uncle Arthur?
I could be Uncle Arthur. Yes. There I go. I'll just put myself right there. All right. All right, Joe. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next week. But maybe we'll do this again on Monday.
Sure thing. Have a good one, buddy.
All right. Take care.